All set. All righty. All right. Good morning. This is Sports for Real with Coach Hall. Got about 10 minutes here. Running late as usual, but today is a national holiday, in my opinion, a personal holiday. And I want to enjoy it to the max. Had a little baseball game last night. Didn't win, of course. We hadn't won a game all year. But the goal when you're teaching is to try to get progression from point A to the end. And I've seen growth there. Don't have the experience that is necessary to win at this point, but there's a mix of young talent that is coming back or due to come back that will make next year a completely different setup than what it is now. Season's still not over with. Got a district game next week and looking to ruin somebody's season. And if we can just get one that would make it worthwhile. But meanwhile, NBA Finals is what's at the fourth. NBA playoffs are at the forefront. And right now there's a log jam for positioning in the NBA West. And last night I saw the Grizzlies take on Minnesota. Minnesota came into Memphis last night and they ended up running off the Grizzlies by 15, 16 points. But it was a wholesale shootout, like 141 to 125. And these are two teams that right in the middle of the race. They both have a mix of young talent, and they like to run up and down the floor, and they want to shoot three-pointers all night. I know in the first half, the way the game was going, they must have shot 25 threes between the two teams that actually, were good. And if they're able to shoot like that, then they're going to make it difficult for any opponent to beat them. But what is the likelihood that some team is going to be able to shoot in that fashion? So the question is, if you can score, is that enough to win a championship? Do you really have to? Can you not play defense and win an NBA title? And the way that the league is going, everybody's shooting them up. They don't seem to care a whole lot about defense. And again, Memphis, Minnesota, Golden State, they all play the same style of play. Now the Clippers, they are silently moving up, getting better. And they don't shoot as many threes as those younger teams do. And they're steadily improving. So a lot of people now are saying that the Clippers might be one of the top three teams in the West simply because you cannot trust the consistency of teams like Minnesota and Memphis. And I have to say I have to agree with that because I don't think there's ever been a team that relied strictly on offense in any sport to win a championship. There's been a lot of high-scoring teams, but it still comes down to who can make a play to win the championship. JC, good morning, man. And I don't think that you can win a championship without playing defense. As I think about football, I've seen a lot of high-scoring teams, but those same teams that scored a lot of points and didn't play defense, they didn't go very far. And I think if you look across the spectrum of all the sports, you'll find the same thing. So Memphis, Minnesota, Golden State in a lot of ways, they're unreliable. If you don't play defense, I don't think they can win a championship. Lakers, there are holes there. A lot of people, for nostalgia's sake, want the Lakers to play the Celtics every year for the finals, and that would be fine if both those teams earn those positions. But if you don't earn it in my book, I don't care if it's the Toledo sapsuckers going against the Ocala horse trotters. If you're the best team and you earn your way to a championship position, that's who I want to see in the finals. I'm not going to pencil in some team because they got a sexy pass or a sexy location. That means nothing to me. And I think because of that, the Lakers, they're not going to go very far because look like to me that Doncic, he's shooting all the balls. You have wide open people, and if it's not in his peripheral vision where he sees somebody that's wide open, he's going to take the shot. So if you're going to slow the Lakers down, it starts with Doncic. If you put a clamp on him, then it slows everything else down. Golden State, everybody's saying they're going to be a championship outfit because of the addition of Jimmy Butler. But again, Jimmy Butler, he's struggling to score 10 points a game when you got a healthy Steph Curry. And if you're depending on Steph Curry to score 35, 40 points a night in the playoffs, it's not going to happen. So Butler is going to have to step up if Golden State is going to win. Clippers, they're playing decent defense. Harden, I noticed from his score line, he's kind of inconsistent there. If Harden can consistently score over 20 points a game, and with the emergence of a healthy Kawhi Leonard, then they become a threat. And another person that nobody's talking about for the Clippers is Zubac. Zubac's pulling down 12, 13 rebounds a game, and he's scoring over 10 points a game. So Zubac, just like Hartenstein for Oklahoma City, is an X factor. If these guys can contribute more than what they usually do, then you're going to be hard to beat. But right now, I still don't see anybody beating Oklahoma City. Why? Because they play more or better defense than anybody else. If you look at all these high-flying scorers out there in the league, most of those guys, they do well against those other teams, but when they play against Oklahoma City, they don't tend to match what they do against those other teams. And if that trend continues, then watch how Oklahoma City methodically work their way through the Western Conference playoffs. And I expect them to make it to the finals. Well, they're probably going to end up going against Boston. And even though Cleveland's had that great year and been consistent enough for me, especially down the stretch, they seem very vulnerable to me. And because of that, I think that Boston, with the experience they have from being the championship from last year, they're going to overcome Cleveland. Might take 7 games, but they're going to get by Cleveland. JC says, I think you need some defense to win a championship, but today's NBA is mostly run and gun. Yeah, it is run and gun 3-pointers, but you still got to play some defense at some point. Case in point, look at the college championship games. Florida was scoring 90 points a game coming into the tournament. They didn't hit 90, I don't believe, against a good team. After that first round, they didn't hit 90 the whole tournament. They had to play some defense. And that stop they got against Houston, even though that was more Houston than Florida that made that play, they still got credit for the stop. And you got to play defense at some point. I don't care what sport it is, what league it is, and what year it is. It's all the same. So I think that it's fun to score points and watch people run up and down. Well, I guess some people it is, and get kind of aggravating after a while. But if you can slow these guys down, close out on those shots, it makes a big difference as to who's going to win those games. So because of that, the Wild West, I think Oklahoma City comes out of that because they play better defense than everybody else. But the running gun 3-point shooters, those teams, if they get it going like they did last night with Minnesota and Memphis, then those teams then become a threat. But they can't, it's not sustainable. Steph Curry, he can sustain it, but even with him, he doesn't have that sidekick like Klay Thompson anymore. Moses Moody, he's coming on. And that guy, Zimski, if he can contribute a couple of 3-pointers a game, then that will be on the line of what Klay Thompson used to give him. But Curry's going to have some help. And Jimmy Butler, he's a great player and all that, but I think he needs to contribute more on the offensive end if Golden State's going to do it. So my top 3 Western Conference teams, Oklahoma City, the Clippers, not in any order, by the way. The Clippers, I like Golden State. And as a wild card, I guess you could throw the Lakers in there. Minnesota, I don't think they got enough heart to advance. Edwards, as good as he is, he's still not consistent either. He scored, 45, 44 last night? He might come back the next game and score 15. I've been watching him. I've been tracking his score line, and that is something he's likely to do. And that's not going to get you a championship either. So it's another thing to keep an eye on. So of those four teams, Oklahoma City, the Lakers, the Clippers, and Golden State, one of those four teams are going to come out. But I think the Lakers are a very long shot. Ahead of them is Golden State. But right now, in my mind, Oklahoma City is the best in the West. All right. You don't think Denver still has a shot to win the West? Well, they have a shot, but I left them out. You put them in the top five. Jokic is the man, but it's the same thing as shooting 3-pointers. He can score 35, 40 a night, but his problem is the second half. But like I said,